Hi, welcome along. This is episode 162 of Adventures in Pop, and you are extremely welcome. And I have to say, looking rather lovely as well. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we seem to be moving into, kind of late spring, a bit of sunshine. It's rather joyous, actually. And what I've been up to, and I think what I want to talk about in this episode is the preparation that is being put in place, partly by me and partly by others, and I'll explain all of that, for my new album release, which is going to be the end of this month. I have talked about it before. Sorry if this is repetitious for you, but I want to just do a little recap and then provide a bit more detail about what a campaign kind of means. So strap yourselves in. This is about basically the release of my 6th album, which is going to be on the 31st of May, coming up in a few weeks, preceded a week, as I mentioned last time, by a bit of a surprise single that I wasn't going to release, but there was a certain amount of enthusiasm behind it, and I'm really happy to kind of go with that. So on the 24th of May, I'm releasing the 11th track from this album, which is called Face the Music. And it's been really interesting because, as I've mentioned before, for the very first time, so, all kind of very much brand new territory for me, I've got a PR company working alongside me. I think that's the way I've described it, because, in some areas, they're really leading the way in terms of saying this is what we do. And in other areas, I've got to provide the stuff. It's, I've got to. So, for example, we talked about, this surprise 11th track that's going to be released as a single. So suddenly I needed to think about what's the video going to be, make the video probably a bit earlier than I would normally do. And I'll go through the kind of elements of this campaign. Why am I doing this? Because here in Adventures in Pop, I guess from the very outset, I promised to kind of keep people updated on the progress of this strange adventure that is kind of, my new career, such as it is, through good times and bad times. And well, I've been doing this for a good few years, and this is definitely the first time that I've had interested and smart, nice people, actually helping me get ready for an album release, and are putting some, work in, real work, to make a ripple, I think, to achieve what we might call cut through in this really difficult climate where millions and millions of people can make music in an environment like this or less, and upload it to Spotify and all the other streaming platforms, and that's the problem. Anyone can do that part, but then getting people to listen or to be remotely interested, to notice anything, is where the hard work comes in. And I think, I'm sure it's true that for thousands and hundreds of thousands of musicians, their comfort zone is writing the songs, recording the music. Actually getting any publicity, any marketing, anyone to take any notice is really hard. And I probably wasn't completely aware of that when I first started, but boy, I became aware of it pretty quickly. So, getting people to notice, getting views, subscribers, followers, streams, all of that feels like, the task that I can probably spend too much of my time looking at, worrying about, trying to achieve, and it's great to have some professional help to make some of that stuff happen. So first things first, I'm not going to mention the name of the company that I'm working with yet at this stage, because just in case everything kind of, goes pear-shaped, I don't want to drop them in it. But, if things start to happen and work, and I can see some traction, I think is the word, then I'm very happy to give them all the kudos that they will absolutely deserve for being able to drag this old body into the limelight, kicking and screaming. So this is what the campaign so far kind of looks like. It started with a TikTok campaign. I was a bit bemused by the whole idea of a TikTok campaign because I don't really know much about TikTok. But the idea was not to try and set up my own thing on TikTok and start getting, millions of views, but to go through influencers, i.e. people who already have established themselves with a big following on TikTok, and get them to use my songs from this album kind of behind their own videos that they're using that already have a large number of followers, so that basically you can kind of ride on the back of those influencers, I'm sure, for a small fee. And it's worth saying with this PR company that are working with me, it's not for love, and I am paying them, and it's a considerable amount of money. But given the opportunity, they came to me, and I just thought this would be stupid to just say no. I mean, it's probably worth spending something, because you would have to anyway. How can you get marketing for free? I'm not sure that's possible. So TikTok came first. Apparently, the videos that are carrying my music, and they particularly picked up a couple of tracks. They picked up Lay Down My Life and I Breathe With You as the two little snippets of each to go behind their videos. Apparently, when you add up all the views of all the influencers who have taken one or other of those, it's somewhere in excess now of 100,000. It's tricky to know where that's going, what good that's doing, because I can't see an immediate kind of crossover into Spotify streams, for example. But maybe it's a slow burn, and I'm being very relaxed as I possibly can be, trying to just let these things run in the way that I'm being told that it should run. I'm trying not to. I'm overcoming the urge to call them every day and say, "What's happening now?" But that would be, I think, probably counterproductive. So TikTok came first, and then I was advised to get a load of kind of press pictures, and I showed you those last time around. If you want to have a look at my press photography, courtesy, I should say, of Rachel Ip, who came around and photographed me, that's on episode 161. Go back and have a look at those if you dare. And that went well. I sent those then off to the company, and they said they thought they were really good, which is nice, because I've got no idea if they're good or not good. I just look at them and think, oh, God. We had a conference call yesterday, and even that in itself is worth just stopping for a second and saying, we had a conference call. It was just so nice that there are people there, and they're real, and they're in this country, and they were talking to me about, my stuff, my music, and it was incredibly sort of gratifying and reassuring, really. In itself, that was a bit of a boost to the ego, if I'm honest. Even if I'd pay a load of money and nothing ever happens, at least we had a conference call. I know that sounds a bit crazy, doesn't it? Okay, one of the things we talked about at the conference call was establishing a press release, and they had mocked up a press release based on some stuff that I'd sent through to them. So I quite liked it, because quite a lot of it I recognised as being, my own words and things that I kind of wanted to say. But they were very good. They said, look, here's a press release. We've written it. Can you take a really good look at it and just make sure it's yours, that it sounds like you, and that you've added in anything else you wanted to say about, your music. So I actually spent an evening yesterday going through it and writing a few paragraphs I'm going to send on to them when I'm done. And the press release seems to be covering both the single Face the Music. It's primarily about actually that single, but then kind of also teasing the fact that there's this album. So it gave me the opportunity to write some slightly pretentious stuff about my musical style, what I believe in, and all that. About pop music, actually, about the fact that I think that pop music gets a bit of a bad rap and should be held in higher esteem than it currently is. And, you know, here I am trying to improve the quality of pop music. Now, that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But I think pop music can be intelligent and emotional and subversive and political and beautiful and all those things, rather than just bubblegum, disposable, chuck it out 3 minutes, etc. So what happens with these press releases? Well, they are going to be sent off to music publications. And that was another thing. I'm not really aware of what the top music publications are. It's been a long time since I was reading Q Magazine or the New Musical Express. So I've done a bit of research to see, you know, what people are buying, what musical magazines exist. I know about Pitchfork. I know about all the ones that basically indulge in nostalgia, Mojo, Uncut. The Enemy is still there. So it'd be interesting to see where they want to send the press release when it's done. But that's on its way soon. With some advice to me about, you know, not necessarily expecting stuff to happen immediately, but it'll happen eventually. I spoke to another person yesterday on the same conference call about a YouTube campaign, which is why I needed to get a video for Face the Music done pretty quickly. But actually, we might not go with that one in the end. We had a long conversation about whether we do that or whether we go with the video for Strange Alien, which I think is going to be the choice in the end, which I'm happy about. I don't really mind. I mean, I love, you've heard me say this before, but yeah, I love all these tracks kind of similarly. I find it very hard to work out what's the best or what's going to be the most popular or what would be the hook that draws people in. Strange Alien is the title track. It has a bit of a story to it. The video is quite fun, so let's go with it. So it's got a number of elements, this campaign. You know, we're talking about TikTok, we're talking about magazines, we're talking about YouTube. And with the magazines, the idea is that they either, you know, take some of this press release and publish something, or maybe, if we're really lucky, and this would be extraordinary, is that they might get in touch and want to do a feature, an interview or something. That would be amazing, even in itself. Again, even if nobody ever read it, even if it was only 3 sentences long. So that's interesting. We'll see what comes of that. And I'm sharing all this with you because I want to tell you up front as these things happen, kind of in real time, so you can kind of follow the story and the progress with me. At the moment, all of this is still, you know, discussing and putting these things together. Obviously, nothing's been released yet. We haven't gone with it yet. But it will be really fascinating to watch how this progresses over the weeks ahead as we go up to the release dates and beyond. And next time I'm on here with you, I will share with you the new video for Face Music and share with you that fascinating and lovely 11th track. So that's all good fun. So look, that's it for now. I just want to say it's quite exciting. Keep on watching. Thank you to all of those of you who have recently subscribed. I seem to have lots of subscribers in Brazil, and if you're Brazilian and you're watching this, I'm sorry that I don't speak any, I'm a bit crap at all languages, but Portuguese, no, I know nothing. So I just want to say thank you anyway for taking the time and care and attention to be a subscriber. I love you all. Take it easy. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.